creaming off government funds.
What I know for sure that Andriy Yermak clearly was aware of what is happening.
In recent months, there's been a seemingly fruitless series of peace talks with no end in sight. Today, we take a closer look at who exactly for the Ukraine side is conducting those talks. But first, the backdrop.
This corruption scandal is something that needs to be taken care of by President Zelensky.
Trump ally rips Zelensky over $100 million theft. Ukraine run by war mafia. Pro-Russian Orban says Zelensky blackmails EU to fill his pockets. Hungarian PM Viktor Orban slams Ukraine's golden illusion.
And here's the BBC perspective, a channel normally exalting everything Ukrainian.
We're looking at a corruption scandal which is rocking the Ukrainian government.
Various members of the government were taking kickbacks. This was actual cash in bags.
Obviously, in times of conflict, any country may be faced with taking unusual or heavy measures to improve its position against the enemy. That's understandable. And in such difficult times, individuals in key positions of government may find it more, expedient to shortcut some of the basic rules, codes, or advisories that would normally apply. But is all this rule bending acceptable to the citizens of that country and to the greater allied communities? Here are some of the most recent personalities to have fallen foul of investigations by Ukraine's Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU. We've already witnessed some rising concerns within European ranks, and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban is one of the loudest voices. Here he criticises corruption in Ukraine and refuses to send Hungarian taxpayers' money to support Kiev. According to him, a mafia network involving high-ranking officials has been exposed. President Zelensky, after attempting to restrict NABU's anti-corruption authority in July 2025, quickly reversed that decision in response to public outcry and international criticism, and now says he supports these ever-revealing investigations of his closest colleagues. But even this week, new findings are being uncovered. So, in terms of the peace negotiators, it seems that head of the president's office, Andriy Yermak, a key player in earlier peace talks, interviewed in Israel where he made extensive denials, is out of the picture. Conflicts of interest related to brother Denis's business dealings, exerting undue influence over personnel decisions in government, together with fostering an environment where corruption can thrive, appear to have been his downfall. Clearly, in light of his resignation and feeling a little bashful about returning to his home country, an early return into the fray is logically out of the question. Rustem Umarov, Secretary of the National Security and Defence Council and former Defence Minister, is now leading the high-level peace negotiations, according to President Zelensky in a recent X post. But his past has also been subject to scrutiny, including questions about his role in defence procurement and past business ties. One of the clearest explanations I have found to understand the true extent of these revelations is a very insightful interview by the Kiev Independent with Daria Kaluniuk, Executive Director of Ukraine's Anti-Corruption Action Center.
It was Andriy Yermak also who was ordering and still is ordering Prosecutor General Office, Security Service of Ukraine, State Bureau of Investigation to keep attacking NABU and SAPO, particularly targeting individual detectives and prosecutors. And he can gather leaders of these organizations and give them orders.
So while Umarov steps into the spotlight as the lead negotiator, the shadow of past allegations lingers, and let's not forget, he's part of President Zelensky's inner circle, a group of 5 managers who have all at one time or another faced scrutiny over their conduct and associations. Are these concerns being addressed, or are we simply shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic? One can't help thinking that in any other European country faced with such massive suspicious behaviour in high government, both the leader and cabinet would, by now, be out of office. The critical question remains, can Umarov or anyone in a similar position truly represent the best interests of Ukraine and its people, free from self-interest and the dark work ethic that seems to pervade every avenue of governance? In the longer term and post-war, these questions of integrity will linger. To avoid hypocrisy, improving such shortfalls would be key to Ukraine's eventual accession to the EU. This unease extends far beyond Ukraine's borders. One glance at the approval ratings of key European leaders paints a stark picture of dwindling public confidence. Furthermore, there's a growing perception that some of these leaders are pushing a singular aggressive ideology against Russia, one that involves rapidly increasing military budgets. Countries like Hungary, Czechia and Slovakia are refusing to be drawn into a larger military build-up. Are Euro leaders grappling with their own domestic crises and facing accusations of mismanaging their economies really equipped to make critical decisions about a conflict where there is such a divergence of opinion? And that affects us all. The arms struggle we see is not just a regional dispute, it's a high seas and global powder keg. The decisions made in Kiev, Berlin, Washington and Brussels determine the fate of millions. We, the citizens of Europe and the West, dream of transparency, accountability and ethical leadership. Is it just a pipe dream? The stakes are simply too high to blindly trust those in power. It's time to ask, do our leaders serve us, or are they simply serving themselves? And if it's the latter, how will this story end?